The QUEL'THARI collective had protocols for wars, plagues, and supernovas, but none for this. They'd studied humanity, of course, observed their neon-lit cities, their chaotic art, their baffling obsession with hurling themselves off cliffs for fun. The analysts concluded humans were harmless, if noisy, a young species too busy burning their own world to notice the galaxy's silent watchers. But when the patrol ships intercepted the stolen ice hauler drifting through the asteroid belt, its hull vibrating with primitive bass beats and laughter, the QUEL'THARI felt something unfamiliar: dread. Inside, the humans had welded mining lasers into disco lights, they'd scrawled YOLO 229 across the airlock in radioactive paint, and they'd left a gift, a crude hologram of a tentacled figure riding a rocket-powered skateboard, captioned, "Uptight Squid Gang 4 EVA 3. The collective's high arbiters convened in a chamber colder than the void itself. Containment is necessary, they declared, mandibles clattering in unison, their vibrancy is a pathogen. Regulations were cited, forms stamped. A detention hub orbiting gas giant XK9 was designated, a place where fluorescent lights and paperwork would sterilize the human spirit. But the arbiters overlooked a footnote in their own archives, buried beneath millennia of orderly logic: species designation, Homo sapiens, survival strategy, unpredictable, threat level, amused. Some pathogens, after all, thrive in the light. Chapter 1. The stars had never looked so cheap. Max Wu squinted through the scratched visor of his cobbled-together spacesuit, watching the neon spray-painted words, "Asteroid Hole-in-One Champ 2389, glow under the icy glare of a nearby comet. His breath fogged the helmet, the suit's recycled air tasting like burnt toast and regret. Behind him, LENA Martinez anchored herself to the pockmarked rock with mag boots, her voice crackling over the comms. "This is the dumbest thing we've ever done." She was right, but that was the point. Asteroid hopping wasn't about the view. It was about the sound, the hollow thunk of a thruster-welded golf club slamming into a rogue silicate, the muffled cheers of 4 teenagers floating in the void like confetti. Raj Patel had jury-rigged the club from a mining drone's arm. Zoe Kim lit the course with stolen emergency flares, her laughter sharp and bright as the oxygen alarms no one acknowledged. Jax Nguyen filmed it all on a helmet cam, narrating in his lazy drawl, "And here we see the wild human adolescent. Yeah, dude, that's gonna trend." Max's gloves slipped on the club's grip. He'd coded the suit's stabilizers himself, a patchwork job that made every movement feel like wading through digital syrup. His mom's voice flickered at the edge of his thoughts. "You're grounded until your grades stop looking like a radioactive graph, Maxwell," but he smothered it with the thrill of the swing. The asteroid shuddered under his boots, a frozen pebble in the belt's skeletal hand. He wondered, briefly, if she'd noticed the missing parts from her work tablet, the ones he'd used to hack the ice hauler they'd borrowed, the ones that got her fired. The club connected, the asteroid fractured, and then the lights came on. QUEL'THARI detention vessels didn't believe in shadows. The walls hummed with a sterile white luminescence that seeped into Max's skull, turning his headache into a living thing. The air smelled like antiseptic and disappointment. They'd stripped his suit, leaving him in a paper-thin jumpsuit the color of expired milk. His fingers itched for a keyboard, a screwdriver, anything to claw back control. Instead, he got a bunk bolted to the wall and a toilet that hissed when you looked at it wrong. The aliens moved like inkblots in a storm, squid-like torsos sheathed in form-fitting environmental suits, tentacles flicking through holographic clipboards. Their voices were synthesized monotones, translating their native clicks into galactic common. Violation 34B, unlicensed vehicular modification. Violation 89Q, reckless spatial navigation. Violation. Max tuned them out. He focused on the ceiling's hexagonal vents, tracing the airflow patterns. Old habit. When your dad bails before you're born, and your mom works triple shifts at the fusion plant, you learn to map exits early. Lena's bunk was across from his. She sat cross-legged, sharpening a spoon against the floor with methodical scrapes. Her black hair hung in a braid frayed by 0G, eyes narrowed at a QUEL'THARI guard drifting past their cell. Military issue, she'd muttered earlier, nodding at the alien's plasma cuffs. See the serial stamps, Dad's unit confiscated those last year. Max didn't ask why she knew that. He'd seen the shrine in her locker, hollows of a brother in Federation armor, dates etched under his smile. Raj paced, muttering equations. Zoe slept like the dead, her dyed red hair a riot against the pallid sheets. Jax hummed a tune that didn't exist, fingers drumming a rhythm on his thigh. Yo, chaos, he said, using the call sign Max had earned after hacking the school's gravity sim into a roller coaster. Think they'll let us order pizza? Max almost smiled. Almost. Nina's hall was worse. Long tables fused to the floor, benches curving upward like hungry tongues. The QUEL'THARI served nutrient bricks that tasted like salted cardboard and regret. Max poked his with a spork, watching the gelatinous core quiver. Across the room, a hologram flickered, prison rules scrolling in endless loops. Section 12.4. Recreational activities restricted to approved cognitive enhancement modules. Zoe lobbed her brick at a vent. It stuck with a wet splat. 10 points, Jax said. Lazy. A guard surged forward, vocoder screeching. Zoe grinned, all teeth. That night, Max dreamt in code. He found the gravity grid by accident. It was during laundry duty, a chore that involved shoving their jumpsuits into sonic cleansers while QUEL'THARI overseers droned about rehabilitation through routine. The grid was a tangle of outdated plasma conduits snaking behind a maintenance panel, its control console coated in dust. Max's pulse spiked. He recognized the system, a Gen 12 Omnigrav, same as his middle school's gym. It had taken him 14 minutes to hack the schools into a 0G dodgeball arena. This one? Rusting. Forgotten. Perfect. LENA drifted beside him, her shoulder brushing his as she pretended to mop. Can you? She whispered. Not can you do it, just can you, like she already knew. He nodded. Her fingers grazed his wrist fleeting. For Kai, she said, and walked away. The vents rattled that night. Max lay awake, parsing the sounds, hydraulics, distant alarms, the shiver of the station's orbit. Jax's snores harmonized with the hum of force fields. Zoe's fists clenched in her sleep. Raj whispered to himself, debugging code only he could hear. Max closed his eyes and saw his mom's face, the way it had crumpled when the security bots marched her out of the plant. You didn't mean to, she'd said, which was worse. He waited until the guard patrol passed. Then he slipped the spork from his jumpsuit, stolen during dinner, edge honed against the bunk's rivets, and pried open the vent. The grid's heart was a nest of frayed wires and jury-rigged repairs. Max's breath fogged the air, fingers dancing over corroded circuits. The QUEL'THARI had patched the system a dozen times, each fix lazier than the last. Amateurs. He bypassed the safety protocols, rerouting power through the station's backup lights. The console sparked, ancient code blooming under his touch like a fossilized flower. Somewhere above, a guard barked orders. Max froze. Then, laughter. Jax's voice, slurred and loud. Bro, you ever seen a squid do the Macarena? A distraction. Of course. Max exhaled. For the first time in months, his hands didn't shake. He returned as dawn bled through the observation deck's reinforced glass. LENA met his gaze, silent. Raj nodded, tapping a rhythm against his thigh. Binary. A secret well done. Zoe tossed him her nutrient brick. Jax grinned. The QUEL'THARI warden, Calix, appeared at midday. Its suit was sleeker than the others, tentacles coiled tight. You will comply, it intoned, mandibles clattering behind the visor, or face consequences. Max almost pitied it. Chapter 2. The station groaned like an old beast, as gravity died. Max floated in the center of the mess hall, fingertips brushing the cold metal ceiling, his breath fogging the air in ragged clouds. Below him, Raj Patel spun lazily in the 0G void, his laughter echoing off the sterile walls. "You mad genius," he whispered, voice cracking. Max didn't feel like a genius. He felt like a thief, stealing moments of weightlessness from a universe that demanded rules. The QUEL'THARI had designed the prison to crush hope under fluorescent lights and form 37B subclauses, but now the mess hall thrived with chaos. Nutrient bricks orbited like drunken moons. Zoe Kim rode a repurposed cleaning bot through the air, her red hair a comet trail as she whooped and slammed a spork into the wall, carving jagged art into the alloy. Jax Noan floated cross-legged, filming it all with a smuggled wrist cam, his grin reflected in the lens. "Dude," he drawled, "we're gonna be memes." Lena Martinez hovered near Max, her eyes sharp, calculating trajectories. She didn't speak, she didn't need to. Her silence was a live wire. Max's stomach churned. This wasn't the plan. The plan was to destabilize, to hurt the system, not to. But the Zero-G had taken on a life of its own, the teen's rebellion metastasizing into something joyous and feral. He gripped a ceiling pipe, the metal biting into his palm. "Control. You always lose control." His mom's face flickered in his mind again, the way she'd looked at him after the factory hack, like he was a stranger piloting her son's body. Across the hall, a plasma conduit sparked. Max's hack was crude, a time bomb of borrowed code. The gravity grid's ancient heart would give out in hours, maybe minutes. He'd meant it as a middle finger to the Warden, not a playground. But the others didn't see the cracks. They saw freedom. A nutrient brick sailed past his head. Zoe saluted him with a stolen QUEL'THARI stylus. "Chaos delivers," she yelled, her voice bouncing off the walls. Max forced a smile. Chaos. The name felt like a noose. Nias Calix arrived at shift change. The Warden's environmental suit was pristine, tentacles coiled tight under its translucent membrane, but its holographic visor flickered, a stress fracture in the facade. It hovered at the mess hall entrance, flanked by guards whose plasma rifles wavered in the Zero-G. "Cease this activity," it commanded, the translator mangling its clicks into a tinny shriek. No one listened. Jax angled his camera. "Smile for the feed, Squidward." The guards flinched as the livestream's viewer count ticked upward. 10,000, 50,000, a million. Earth hashtags bloomed in the chat. #Space Jailbreak Olympics, #Gravity is a crime. Lena drifted to Max's side, her braid floated like a question mark. "They're scared," she murmured. "Of what?" he almost asked, but he knew. The QUEL'THARI's power was procedure, the slow grind of bureaucracy. This was a virus. Calix's tentacles lashed. A guard fired a warning shot. The plasma bolt veered wildly in the Zero-G, searing a black scar into the ceiling. Zoe whooped. "Y'all need better aim." Max's lungs tightened. "This is how it starts. Fights in the rec yard." His mom's voice pleading with security. He didn't mean it, but he had. He always did. They cut the power at 0300 station time. Max woke to darkness, and the shrill keen of emergency alarms. The gravity grid stuttered back online, slamming him into his bunk. His ribs screamed. Somewhere Zoe cursed. Jax laughed, high and unhinged. "Boring-ass aliens can't handle the vibe." Footsteps echoed. A squad of QUEL'THARI guards, their suits glowing faintly in the dark. They dragged Raj away first. Max pressed his face to the cold floor, listening to his friend's muffled protests. "Your fault. Your hack. Your chaos." Lena's hand found his in the dark. Her palm was calloused. "Steady. Breathe," she said. "Just that." Me interrogated him in a room that smelled of ozone and fear. Calix loomed behind a floating hologram of Max's TikTok feed, loops of Zero-G jousting, and Zoe's spork art. "You have contaminated order," it hissed. "You will confess." Max's wrists were cuffed to the table, the plasma bonds humming against his skin. He focused on the hologram's glow, the way it cast Calix's shadow into a grotesque puppet on the wall. Mom's watching this, he realized. The thought was a knife. "Why did you do this?" Calix demanded. "Because I'm good at breaking things. Because I wanted to matter. Because Lena looked at me like I could fix something. He said none of it. The warden leaned closer, its visor reflecting Max's hollow stare. You will be transferred to the labor moon, a productive environment. Max's blood turned to ice. The labor moons were Federation urban legends, rocks where troublesome kids mined ice until their lungs froze. Mom would never know. Mom would think I ran. Calix turned to leave. Max's voice clawed out of him. Wait. The warden paused. Let the others go. A beat. Then a sound like grinding glass. QUEL'THARI laughter. You misunderstand. You are not a negotiator. You are a lesson. The door sealed. Me and Zoe came for him at dawn. She'd set fire to the laundry bag. Max smelled the smoke before he heard the screams. Acrid and chemical. Clawing under the cell door. The guards' boots thundered past, their shouts devolving into gurgles as Zoe's homemade smoke bombs, distilled from nutrient gel and cleaning solvents, choked the vents. Rise and shine, chaos, she said, swiping a stolen keycard. Her left eye was swollen shut. We're blowing this popsicle stand. How? He almost asked. But he saw the answer in her smirk. The way Jax lurked behind her with a hijacked service drone. Raj had jury-rigged its motivator into a sparking wrecking ball. Lena stood at the rear, her face a mask. You did this for me. The realization was worse than the labor moon. They fled through the station's underbelly. A labyrinth of dripping pipes and flickering biolights. Zoe's burns bled through her jumpsuit. Raj muttered code under his breath, recalibrating the drone's path. Jax hummed. Lena gripped Max's arm. Calix lied, she said. About the moon. They were shipping you to a juvenile work camp on Tau 9. How do you know? Her eyes hardened. My brother. The name hung between them. Kai. The shrine in her locker. The dates under his smile. Max saw it then. The faint scar along her jaw. The way she checked every corner. Soldiers' habits. He tried to unionize the Tau 9 kids, she said. They spaced him. The words were flat, final. Max's throat burned. I'm not your brother, he wanted to say, but he followed her into the dark. They regrouped in the derelict comms array. A tomb of dead consoles and frozen screens. Zoe collapsed against a wall, her breath ragged. All right, plan. We hijack a shuttle, right? Go full pirate. Raj shook his head. Shuttles need biometric keys. QUEL'THARI DNA. So we grab a squid, Jax said shrugging. Lena stared at the frozen screens. Or we hit them where it hurts. Max followed her gaze. The central console, rusted, but intact. A Gen 8 transmitter, outdated, but hackable. The live stream, he breathed. The lawsuit, Lena corrected. She tapped a screen, pulling up galactic child welfare statutes. They detained us without counsel, denied recreation, used excessive force, lawyer up, space squids. Jax muttered, grinning. Max's hands shook. It's not enough, but Lena's stare pinned him. Make it enough. He sat at the console, fingers brushing the dust from the keys. The others watched, even Zoe stilled. The code came slowly, then all at once, a cascade of exploits and loopholes. The station's own security protocols turned against it. Max's vision blurred. Mom would kill me if I died here. A final keystroke. The screens flickered to life. Live in 3-2. Jax aimed his wrist cam. Zoe smirked at the lens. Hey Federation. You seeing this shit? The riot reached them as the stream hit 1 billion views. QUEL'THARI guards breached the door. Plasma rifles flaring. Raj's drone surged forward. Sparks flying. Zoe tackled a guard. Her fists a blur. Jax kept filming. Lena pulled Max behind a console. Finish it. His fingers flew. Almost there. A plasma bolt grazed his shoulder. The pain was cold, then hot, then nothing. The screens flashed green. Transmission complete. Chapter 3. The air in the derelict comms array hung heavy with the metallic tang of scorched circuits and the coppery scent of blood. Max slumped against a frost-rimed console, his shoulder a constellation of throbbing heat, where the plasma bolt had grazed him. The pain was a distant pulse, drowned by the static roar in his skull. Your fault, again. Zoe crouched nearby, her knuckles split and raw, smearing red streaks as she tightened a torn strip of jumpsuit around his wound. Her hands trembled. A first, but her voice was steel. Don't you die on me, Chaos. I didn't torch 3 laundry bots for a corpse. Beyond the cracked viewport, the gas giant's swirls loomed like a judgment. The riot's aftermath echoed through the station. Distant alarms, the shriek of buckling metal, the QUEL'THARI's guttural clicks magnified by panic. Jack slumped against a dead terminal, his wrist cam still streaming. The feed flickered, glitched faces of Earth teens chanting "free the asteroid kids" superimposed over Zoe's smoke grenade haze. Raj hunched over a disemboweled drone, fingers weaving wires into a spider's ballet. Calix will lock down the hangars, he muttered. Need a distraction. Bigger, brighter. Lena stood at the array's entrance, her back to them, staring into the corridor's flickering bio-lights. Her braid had unraveled, strands floating in the residual zero-G like black static. When she turned, her eyes were lunar cold. We don't run, we bury them. Max's breath hitched. Bury. The word conjured his mother's face again, her hollow stare, as the factory doors sealed behind her. Bury the guilt. Bury the chaos. But Lena meant the law. The courtroom was a sarcophagus of polished obsidian, lit by the sickly glow of holographic statutes. Calix floated at the prosecution's podium, tentacles coiled around a data slate, listing their sins. Count 1. Unauthorized manipulation of Federation infrastructure. Count 2. Inciting interplanetary disorder. Count 3. The charges droned, sterile and eternal. Max sat slouched in the defendant's cradle, a biotic restraint humming at his wrists. The Federation's emblem loomed behind him, a starburst ensnared in chains. Appropriate. He traced the grooves in the floor, each etched with the names of species ground to dust by due process. Human wasn't there yet. Lena had been right. The QUEL'THARI's weakness wasn't firepower, it was optics. The livestream had metastasized into a hydra. TikTok duets of Zoe's zero-G jousting, think pieces dissecting Calix's inhumane lack of skateparks. The galaxy was laughing, but laughter wouldn't stop the labor moon. A hologram flickered to life, a human judge with a face like weathered asteroid rock. The Federation recognizes the plaintiff's counterclaim, under Galactic Child Welfare Statute, 45.8. Calix's visor darkened. Irrelevant. These entities are delinquents, not children. Zoe snorted. Last I checked, squids don't get to decide what's human. Max's fingers twitched. His palm drive, smuggled in Jax's sock, burned against his thigh. Wait. The judge's hologram leaned forward. The court will review evidence of detainment conditions. Now. Max slammed the drive into the cradle's port. The courtroom dissolved. The holograms erupted in memes. Calix's visor pixelated into a dancing cat. QUEL'THARI legal code scrolled as lo-fi beats. A viral clip of Zoe, arm wrestling a guard looped, spliced with captions, "Let teens yeet." The judge's mouth twitched. A human tell. Order. Calix's vocoder glitched. Order. Order. Lena stood, her voice ablade. You want order? Let's talk Tau 9. The room stilled. Even the bio-lights dimmed. Kai Martinez, 17, sentenced to rehabilitations for organizing a strike. His body was found in the rings, frozen, smiling, her nails dug into the podium. You want our crimes? Here's yours. Max's drive beeped. The screen split. Calix's prison logs, juxtaposed with Kai's autopsy report. Section 12.4. Lena hissed. Denied medical care. Denied family contact. Denied air. Calix's tentacles spasmed. The Federation approved all protocols. The Federation, the judge said slowly, was misled. The floor shifted. Max tasted ozone. Victory. Miles. They adjourned to deliberate. The squad was herded into a holding cell that reeked of ammonia,
in dread. Jax flopped onto a bench, grinning. Did you see Squidward's face? Priceless. Raj crouched, sketching schematics in the dust. Calix's personal shuttle, Gen 4 engine. I can fix it. Barter? Lena asked. Leverage. Zoe prodded Max's bandage. You're quiet, Chaos. The walls pressed closer. Chaos. The name curdled. He'd hacked the trial. Yes, but the cracks were spreading. The station's gravity grid groaned under his patchwork code. Another hour, and the mess hall would collapse. More damage. Always more. Lena gripped his arm. Hey, we're close. To what? His voice cracked. We're just breaking things. Again. She flinched. For a heartbeat, he saw Kai in her eyes. The ghost she carried. The ghost he'd never replace. Then she leaned close. Her whisper a lifeline. Break the right things. Calix found him in the reactor core. The warden's suit was scuffed, tentacles twitching, as it navigated the catwalks. Below the gravity grid, pulsed like a dying star. You will cease, it intoned. The Federation's verdict changes nothing. Max ignored it, tracing the grid's frayed conduits. You let Kai die. He violated procedure. He wanted windows in the dormitory. Windows. Calix's visor flickered. Regulation 9T prohibits unshielded viewports. Max laughed, sharp and hollow. You're a broken algorithm. Input, fun. Output, fear. The warden stiffened. Order protects. From what? Living? Silence. Then a click. Calix's tentacle extended, offering a data chip. Your skatepark. The schematics. They are inefficient. Max stared. I studied Earth's recreational archives. Your half-pipe design lacks structural redundancy. The warden retracted the chip, hesitant. Hypothetically, the reactor hummed. Somewhere, a pipe burst, spraying steam like a sigh. The verdict came at dawn. The Federation fined the QUEL'THARI 12 million credits for systemic juvenile neglect. The squad was released, escorted by a human envoy, with a too-white smile. You're heroes, she said. A testament to human spirit. Max lingered at the airlock. The others boarded the shuttle, Jax whooping, Zoe flipping off the security cams. Lena paused, her hand on the hatch. Coming? He glanced back. Calix hovered in the shadows, clutching Raj's repaired shuttle key. Someone's gotta fix the gravity. She nodded. Don't take forever. The airlock sealed. Max worked through the cycle, rebuilding the grid, reinforcing the skatepark, coding fail-safes. Calix grudgingly approved. The warden watched, silent, until the final weld. Why? It asked. The gas giant's light filtered through the new viewport Max had installed. For the next kids. Calix's tentacle brushed the glass. Illogical. Human. The epilogue hit TikTok at 0300 station time. A clip of Calix, tentacles awkwardly gripping a stylus, sketching half-pipe upgrades. The caption, Squidward gets stoked. Max's mom replied first. Come home, Chaos. He hit send. Already on my way. The stars for once looked priceless.
Chapter 4. The station's new viewport was a raw, unhealed wound in the hull, its edges still singed from the plasma torch. Max pressed his palm against the cold glass, watching the gas giant's storms swirl in lazy spirals below. The light here was different now, softer, refracted through the reinforced plexus steel he'd installed himself. For the next kids, he'd told Calix, but the words rang hollow when whispered to the dark. Behind him the skate park hummed. The QUEL'THARI had grudgingly approved his retrofitted half-pipe, though they'd insisted on bolting safety railings along its edges. Regulation 9T. Calix had droned, but Max noticed the warden lingered sometimes, tentacles tracing the curves of the ramps when it thought no one was looking. Progress, maybe. Or curiosity. Either way, the station's heartbeat had changed. Less a metronome, more a jazz riff. The others were leaving today. Max's fingers twitched toward his wristpad, the one he'd rebuilt from scavenged prison tech. His mom's last message glowed faintly. Chaos. Come home. She'd used his call sign, not his name. A peace offering, or a surrender. He wasn't sure which hurt more. The hangar bay smelled of burnt hydrazine and nostalgia. The Federation envoy's shuttle crouched in the center, its hull polished to a mocking sheen. Lena stood at the ramp, her duffel slung over one shoulder, staring at the graffiti Zoe had etched into the bulkhead, a crude squid riding a skateboard. You don't have to stay, she said, not turning. Max shrugged, though she couldn't see it. Someone's gotta maintain the grid. Bullshit. He flinched. Lena's truths always landed like thrown knives. She faced him now, her eyes the gray of dead stars. You think martyring yourself fixes anything? You think Kai would? Don't. The word came out sharper than he'd meant. Kai's ghost hung between them, a third shadow in the hangar's half-light. Lena's jaw tightened. She reached into her jacket, pulled out a frayed hollow chip. He left this. Before Tall 9, the chip glinted fragile as a moth's wing. Max didn't take it. Why me? Because you're still here. She pressed it into his palm, her fingers lingering. And he's not. The ramp hissed shut behind her. Calix found him in the grid's underbelly, knees deep in frayed wiring. The Warden's suit was smudged with carbon, a first. The Federation has approved your modifications, it said, mandibles clicking behind the visor. With amendments. Max didn't look up. Let me guess. No fire extinguisher races? Subsection 14R prohibits open flames in recreational zones. A pause. However, the statute does not specify. Glow sticks. The concession hung in the air, delicate as a soap bubble. Max snorted. Thanks. Calix drifted closer, tentacles curling around a support beam. Your species' capacity for irrationality is fascinating. You mean fun. I mean inefficiency. The Warden tapped a console, pulling up schematics of the skate park. Your reinforcement of the central axis is inadequate. Stress fractures will occur within 4.3 cycles. Max finally glanced over. Calix's hologram was annotated with precise QUEL'THARI equations, and a crude doodle of a stick figure, mid-kickflip. Hypothetically, Calix added, too fast. The laugh startled them both. It clawed out of Max's throat, rusty and foreign. Calix's visor flickered, a glitch that almost looked like a smile. Night shift on the station was a living thing now. The biolights dimmed to a honeyed amber, and the vents played a low resonant hum Max had programmed, part lullaby, part rebellion. He sat in the mess hall, the holochip, spinning on the table. Kai's ghost watched from the edges. Press play. The chip whirred. Kai's face materialized, younger than Lena's shrine photos. His grin cracked at the edges. Hey future delinquents. If you're seeing this, I'm either famous or dead. Max's breath hitched. Kai talked about windows, about how Tall 9's dormitories felt like coffins, how he'd traded 3 weeks of rations for a smuggled holo projector just to see a sunrise. They think rules keep us safe. Nah. Rules keep us small. The recording glitched. For a heartbeat, Kai's eyes met Max's through time. Break something big, okay? The chip died. The shuttle came at dawn. Max stood in the airlock, a single bag at his feet. The skate park glowed behind him, alive with holographic graffiti, and the phantom laughter of kids who'd never know his name. Calix hovered at the threshold, clutching a data slate. Your replacement is adequate. High praise. Merely factual. The Warden extended a tentacle, offering a small metal box. For your mother. Inside was a QUEL'THARI merit badge. Orderly conduct. Tier 9. Defaced with a doodle of a skateboard. Max choked on a laugh. She'll frame it. Illogical. Human. The airlock sealed. Earth filled the viewport. Blue and brash and beautiful. Max's wristpad buzzed. 10 billion views. He deleted the notification. Home smelled of soy sauce and solder. His mom stood in the doorway, Her apron smeared with engine grease. Her hair a storm cloud. She didn't hug him. She didn't need to. Dinner's cold, she said. I'll fix it, he said. And for once he didn't mean the microwave. Mac epilogue. The next TikTok trend. Squidward gets stoked. Calyx caught on a security cam. Tentacles wobbling on a hoverboard. Lena's comment. Kai would have loved this. Max's reply. He's laughing somewhere. The stars for once agreed.